Okay. Morning again. Daniel again. What are we going to talk about today? Let's see. Let's talk about, since we're a week away from the Bands of America Austin Regional, which you can watch on flowmarching.com, by the way. Shoot me a line if you're going to be there. Love meeting people in the stands and getting their opinions on stuff and talking with them. Staff loves it too. But if you can't be there, flowmarching.com, sign up, get a subscription. You can watch everything, all the regionals, live from the comfort of your own home if you don't want to be at the stadium and hang out with me. What are we going to talk about today? I know what we're going to talk about today. Since we're a week out from the first series of marching band contests in the state of Texas, we're going to talk about something very important. We're going to talk about stadium etiquette. How to not act like a jerk in the stands. Talking to parents, talking to students as well. And this will kind of be a half and half campfire story / public service announcement. I've gone to it feels like hundreds of these types of contests. And like I said in a previous podcast, most of the interactions that take place in the stands or at retreat, I'd say 95% of them are cordial, they are pleasant, there's no negativity, nothing like that. It's that 5% you run into that seems to sour the entire bunch. I guess it's just human nature. So anyways, everybody gather around, get your tea and your afternoon biscuits and all that stuff. Because I'm going to teach you how to not act like a jerk in the stands. Now you're probably asking yourself, or if you're not asking yourself, I'm going to ask for you, what are some of the things you've seen in the stands that pissed you off or ticked you off or whatever? I'll give you a couple examples of some of the more egregious things I've seen. These are all true stories. No embellishment, by the way. Bands of America Houston Regional in 2005. That was held at Rice Stadium on the campus of Rice University. It was an early season regional. Now, if you've paid attention to me before, late 90s, early 2000s, Houston was the regional. There was no such thing as a super regional before 2003. But that was the big regional at the end of the year, late October, early November. That was the one everyone went to. Then they kind of flipped it. Then San Antonio became the big regional at the end of the year, and Houston became an early season regional. I remember sitting in the stands with my friends, and this time, 2005, I had graduated already, and I was just there to just hang out and watch programs. It was right before finals. I'm sitting there with a couple of my friends. We get some really good seats. We sit down, and they go, okay, please rise for the national anthem. So, of course, we stand up. National anthem plays. I forgot who was, I don't know if it was a trumpet player or somebody was actually singing it. So we're just kind of standing there enjoying the national anthem. And all of a sudden I hear some, noises. Electronic noises. And I was like, that's weird. I wonder where they're coming from. I look over to my left. And there's a band program which will remain nameless. Even though I wrote about this 12 years ago and named the program. But I won't mention them this time. It was a band program that was right next to us. Sometimes if you don't make finals, the directors make you stay and they make you sit in the stands and you got to sit there through the entire finals contest. There was a kid in a band program sitting one section to my left. Whole band stood up. This one kid was playing a Game Boy Advance. Kids, I'll let you look up what that looked like. This one kid was playing a Game Boy Advance with the sound on during the national anthem. If you thought the Kaepernick thing was bad, I mean, good God. With the sound on, like not even trying to not even trying to disguise it. You're just standing up looking at I don't know if he's playing Pokemon or what. I was like, holy cow. And the more shocking thing was nobody around him, none of his friends around him told him to stop. I was like, okay, that's special, to say the least. If you think this only happens in the marching band crowds, then let me tell you about the time. This was about 4 or 5 years ago in the Alamo Dome during a DCI show. I was sitting 4 rows away from the field, total blast zone. And there were 2 members of a corps that sat in front of me. So they were in the 3rd row. And it was obvious that they had performed earlier because they had, like the corps members only gear on. And they made out the entire time. The entire time. I mean, like for 2 hours straight while programs were going on. Who thinks that's okay? Anywhere? Ever? For any reason? They were going at it as if their plane was about to crash. And they've got shirts on that said that corps' name. I'm not going to say the corps' name. If you want, you can ask me about it later. I said, my goodness. This can't be happening. So those are 2 of the more crazy things. And of course you hear things from band parents and band students just passing through the stands and stuff, and it's kind of disheartening to hear some of that stuff from time to time. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's quickly go over some quick ground rules. And I hope you abide by these next week. And if you don't want to, hey, I can't. I'm just an idiot with a microphone. I can't control what you guys do. The basic rule of thumb, parents. The basic rule of thumb is if you don't want other people to do certain things while your program is performing, maybe you shouldn't do them while other programs are performing. Kind of just a basic rule. So, limit cell phone use. Try not to answer the phone. I've seen so many people answer their phone during a performance, and they talk really quiet. Yeah, I'm up here. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, guess what? We can still hear you. No matter how quiet you think you're being on the phone, it's always too loud. Doesn't matter where you are. Be respectful while other programs are going on. Parents, I totally get it. Most of you are not giant band nerds like I am. Most of you are only there to see one program, and that's it. But you need to get good seats, so you got to show up like 6 or 7 programs before your program goes on. And then afterwards, you get up and then you go volunteer with the band and you go feed them Jason's Deli or get them some bottled water or whatever. I totally get it. You're only there to see one program. Be respectful while other programs are going on. Just because you're not interested in other programs doesn't necessarily mean that other people around you feel the exact same way. So, just don't do if you don't want people doing certain things or, being distracting while your program's on, then don't do it while other programs are on. Real simple. Students, do the same thing. Be respectful while other programs are going on. Now, trust me, I get what goes on in the back stands when you're waiting for prelims results. I've been back there a couple of times as a performer. Not very often. But I know what goes on back there. And if your directors make you stay for finals, I don't know about you, but if I missed finals, which can be a very unfortunate thing, if I missed finals and my director said, "Okay, now you're all going to sit here and watch finals," this is just the giant nerd in me, I would really pay attention to what's going on in finals. Because I want to know what I need to do better in order to help my program be on the field on Saturday nights and not in the stands. But that's just me. Just be respectful. That's all you have to do. Here's something to consider. Chances are you're going to be wearing the band shirt, parents and students. Chances are you're going to be wearing the hat or the giant, pride button or whatever. The second you put that on, you represent your program, whether you're performing or not. That is the truth. It's the hard truth. You're going to wear the shirt, you're going to represent the program. So the standards should be the same. You don't want your kid acting like an idiot with the band shirt on. Everyone should be held to the same standard. And the reason I mention that more nowadays than before is because of the wonderful, great, awesome invention that is social media. Because technology and social media, I'll put it to you this way. Your smartphone, whether it's Android or iPhone or whatever, your smartphone does 3 things that have revolutionized social media. Your smartphone takes pictures, your smartphone takes videos, and your smartphone gives you easy access to your point of view. So if you're saying bad things about, if you're trashing other programs and you're wearing the shirt, or you're talking on a cell phone and during performances and you're wearing a shirt, someone can easily take video of it, take photo of it, put it on social media, put it on their band website. I've seen this happen before. And all of a sudden you become a walking meme. This is parents and students together. And all of a sudden your program, which is once again, comprised of 95% really cool, awesome, cordial people. Now all of a sudden you guys get shamed, or you get looked upon poorly because that 5% can't act properly. So don't be a victim of that. You're going to wear the shirt. You're going to be a representative of the program. That's the deal. And like I said before, I get it. You're there to see one program and one program only, and you have no reason to cheer for any other programs or participate in the contest. Totally okay. That's fine. But don't be a distraction for other people. Back when I was in high school, my parents didn't understand this activity whatsoever. And the magnitude and the seriousness that I took, that I invested into the program. So that was I told him flat out, I said, if you don't want to come to the contest because you think they're boring and you're going to sit through a bunch of programs before you see me, I said, that's totally okay. No problem at all. We'll buy the videos, we'll buy the DVDs, we'll do whatever. I sympathized with them, because if you had listened to my other stuff before, you'd know that they were not used to taking their son or daughter to a practice for an extracurricular activity in high school. My stepbrothers and my brother and sister they just didn't participate in stuff when they were that age. Just be nice. Be nice to each other too. I'm not asking you to scream and go crazy for every program. I'm not asking that. That's asking too much. But I mean, common sense, decent manners, that sort of stuff, that'll go a long, long way. I'm always fascinated by how band parents interact with each other in the stands. I always pay attention to that stuff. I've seen band parents take like pieces of construction paper. It's usually during finals. They'll send a representative in at the front of the line. The second the gates open, they go up to the stands. They put pieces of construction paper in at the 50-yard line in like the first 5 rows. Start saving seats. It's pretty insane. It's pretty crazy. You have other programs that'll buy up, like for instance at the Super Regional in the Alamo Dome, the upper deck is I think that's reserved seating up there, or for at least for a long time it was reserved seating instead of general admission. Of course, it's a lot easier to do at the Alamo Dome because you have individual seats. You don't necessarily have that at other stadiums. But I always like seeing, and I always like paying attention to who's cordial towards each other and who is not cordial to other people in the band parent world. Just food for thought. People pay attention to that stuff. And you want to represent your school well. You want to represent your kid well. Students, same thing. You want to, make your parents proud, and you don't want to do anything to harm the brand. Obviously, if a band's going on, don't run up and down the stands trying to get to your seat. And usually, you have the host parents of the contest are usually pretty good about not letting people get into the stands during performances. I know at the Austin Regional they have like this giant rope that they put that's near the concession stands. So when a band program's about to go on, they close it off, and everybody pulls up, and that's it. Nobody else can get into the stands or anything like that. Again, it's a lot easier at the bigger stadiums like the Alamo Dome, where you have like paid ushers that work for the stadium that are sitting there with their blue jackets or whatever, and they're saying, no, you're not going anywhere. One last thing. Probably not a good idea if you try to record the performance at a contest. It's an easy way to get kicked out of the stadium. It's an easy way to get yourself embarrassed when a contest official has to come up to you and say, put your phone away or you're ejected or we'll kick you out. And besides, if you think you're sneaky trying to record a contest, that's like a really easy way to get your program in trouble. I always like seeing people try to record performances and they think they're being sneaky. They think that nobody can see them, and it's more obvious than you think. So folks, please, 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 be kind to each other, especially nowadays when there's like a bunch of crazy crap going on in the world. The last thing you want is to get into a giant fist fight or a giant shouting match in the stands because you didn't act properly or somebody else didn't act properly. I don't want that. I don't want anyone getting beat up in the stands. Now, granted, it would make for great footage. I'd have podcast material for the next 2 weeks. But, don't do that for my sake. I'll be okay on my own, I promise. I am done here. I will talk to you guys probably next week. Hey, guess what? The Austin Regional's next week. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you some awesome fully uninformed opinions about that stuff. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care. Adios. Bye-bye.